Alright, so today we're going to start working on the rear brakes. Continuing on the brakes job, I did a separate video on the front brakes, which didn't really go super well, as you know, although did manage to get it done and everything has been working well. On these brakes, however, I need to get the car inspected and certified for Quebec, and I know that they will probably look at the rear brakes, and I've had the intention to replace them a while ago. I just never got to it. So pretty straightforward: pads and rotors. Rotors are really worn out, as you can tell. The wear is uneven, meaning that the pads are not pressing all the way. Could be related to the caliper as well. We'll take a look at this. The process is pretty simple. There are two screws in the back here. We're going to take the lower screw, the bolt, off, swivel it open, remove the rotor. I have the new ones here and the new pads. But before we do this, we need to retract the caliper, and that's a necessary step, and that's something that's done using a scanner. So I'm going to do this right now and show you how that's done. Let's get the brakes in service mode. So you need to use a scanner, car scanner, in order to do it. Okay, so I now have my scanner connected. You can hear cars beeping because the ignition is on. We're gonna go under, so this is an AutoFix 5600. You might have a different one, but you will need to get into the Volkswagen menu, special functions, and EPB, which is the emergency parking brake, replace brake pads. Now it's going to communicate. It's going to ask me to turn the ignition on and off, release the EPB button, take the foot off the brake pedal. So I'm going to follow these instructions. It's going to be a little difficult to do while I'm filming, but I'm going to try to show you what that looks like. So I've got it here. I'm going to take the foot on the brake pedal. I'm going to release the brake, which is released already. Take the foot off the brake pedal. So turn the ignition on with engine off, which is the case right now, and go OK. Got two menus. It's going to be others. Replace the brake pad. Move back brake motor. Replace brake pads is what we need. Okay, place the reservoir. Remove the rear wheels. That's done. And not sure whether you're hearing this, that there is a whirring sound coming from the back. That's the pistons are basically releasing, and that's it. Now the pistons are fully released. I'm gonna go OK, check the parking brake motors, complete retraction. If the brake plug is not fully retracted, use a tool to retract it. It should be okay because I really heard the piston going back in. I'm being instructed not to replace the brake pads, which I'm gonna do, and we're gonna press OK to, after finishing, press OK to continue. This will take a little while, so I'm gonna stop this video for now, leave everything connected, and start working on the brakes. Okay, so we're now back with the brakes. Several steps here. So I'm gonna dedust all this because the calipers are really dusty. We will need to ensure that the caliper is in fact retracted, so we'll take a look at that. There is a Torx screw right here, which is actually a set screw. It's not really designed to hold the, like, it doesn't have any mechanical function outside of holding the rotor in place. And we're going to take this out. It shouldn't be too tight. Looks like it's a T20. And we will then remove the two bolts in the back here. They're not big, I think they're 15. We'll double check that. And then, well, we'll remove actually just one of them. We'll loosen the top one, remove the lower one, swivel it open, remove the pads, dedust all of this, remove the rotor, and then replace the parts with new ones. So nothing really super complex here. I know I said that for the front brakes last time and it didn't really work out too well, but this time it should be easier. It shouldn't be too tight really. Make sure you use the right bit. There you go, it's out. Small screw really. Right. Now set that on the side. Now the rotor in theory is loose, but it might need a bit of help to loosen up. Alright, so we're gonna loosen the top here, remove the bottom, right? It is 13 mil to get to this. It might be tight, it will be tight, okay. But sometimes it's not too tight. Now there's another piece in the back here that the bolt screws into that you might need to hold with a wrench, right? Or that's right in the back right here. Let me show you. So right here, that's the bolt we just loosened. So it is loose now, right? And this is the back part, if you will, that the bolt screws into. Sometimes they will spin together, so you need to hold this one with a wrench. You can see that you have some flat spots on it, and in order to take this one out, in this case I'm just loosening this one here, okay, which is I just did. So let's continue. We're gonna loosen the lower one. It's very easy to loosen, actually, surprisingly. Take this one out. Okay, this is the one. Like I said, sometimes it needs a little bit of help, and because the pads could get in the way, especially on these older rotors, they have a bit of a lip, so the pads have not really retracted fully. I can see in fact that it's like the mechanism has unretracted on this end, which is not the way it's supposed to be. So it's only this part that really will swivel at the end, right? So this section here, this is attached to the back of the wheel, to the back of the hub actually here. So it will not swivel open. But this part should, and that's what's going on here. I'm not too concerned about damaging anything, because we are replacing everything. I'm a little concerned about the piston have not really retracted as much as I thought it would, or at all for that matter. There we go. So this swivels open. At this stage I might just take it out because I think we have a challenge on this one here, since it hasn't retracted. So see this, the motor here should be way further back in. So this is going to be a bit of a problem. We'll see how that's gonna be. I'm not sure how we're gonna handle this for that matter. We'll take a look. So let me show you what that looks like now. So this, ideally you would actually secure this with a piece of wire. That way it will not move. So we've got our pads. You can see the rotor is in really rough condition. So that's one pad right here. It's out. Okay. And the other pad is in the back. This one is a lot more worn out. Yeah, I didn't have much left on that one. So there you go. Let's focus. Now we're gonna have to take one of the bolts out in the back of this in order to remove the rotor. And we have the springs, so we'll clean all this up. Right, this part remains, it's not moving. I'm not taking it out. I mean, I'm not replacing it. I might have to take it out to take the rotor out, but outside of that, this part remains. So I'm gonna clean all this up. So I do need to remove the actual bolts that are holding this in place, because I need to take this out in order to be able to remove this bracket here, because right now it's attached to the back, and that might be a bit of a challenge. Okay, so right in that hole here, right there, this is your bolt down here, and there's another one that's on the other side. What I can't tell, I think it is triple square. I have my triple square set here. Pretty certain that's something like that, which this one is so this is 14. Normally it's triple square on Volkswagens, and there it is right there. So you can see the bit is attached to it now, so I'm gonna have to put a wrench on that end here. I'm not sure I'm gonna do that. That might be interesting. And I'm gonna have to remove the other one at the bottom. There's another one that's further down, which is right here. Let me put the bit on it so that you can see it better. Might be able to access it from underneath the car. This is gonna be a pain to remove. There you go, the bit is on it now. It's right there. So that's where the two bolts are. I need to take them out in order to remove this piece and in order to take the pads out. So that's gonna be interesting. All right, so I'm not gonna record this, no point, but I'll let you know once I'm done. All right, so rear brakes. Just a quick note in case you want to tackle this job. This is something that can go really bad. This is the triple square 14 mil that's holding the caliper in place, and I have a mechanic working on this right now. I'm not even doing it, but it snapped. The head basically broke off, right? And yeah, that's the rest of it. That's kind of sticking out a little bit. This is moving slightly, not much, but it's pretty seized right now. And when this moves, it rotates around the thread. And what was happening previously is that the hole there where the bolt actually went through was packed with thread locker. So whoever did this previously just messed it up badly for the next one. Just unfortunately happens to be us. So that's just a note of caution in case you actually do want to tackle this job. Things can go bad pretty quickly, as you can tell. More to come.
Much later.
So this is the aftermath of over 4 hours spent on trying to loosen the other part of this bolt that snapped. Triple square, right, 14 mil. We tried to remove it. Well, the technician tried to remove it, the mechanic that came here, because that was beyond my capability here. And yeah, that didn't quite work out. So it was completely gummed up, just like the other one that I showed you earlier. This white stuff was all over it, apparently a blend of thread locker and corrosion. So we, in order to be able to chase it out of the hole, out of the hub, because it was stuck in there, we had to cut the caliper in pieces so that we had enough thread to grab onto in order to basically chase it out of the hole. And so that was the collateral damage. I'm gonna have to order a new one. Pads were completely gone. The pins were okay, incidentally. So the job couldn't be completed. We'll have to continue doing this. So that's where we're at. More to come to finish the job next week. Alright, so continuing to work on the rear brakes here. I'm continuing the job because my technician won't be able to come for a little while. Another several days. Really need to move forward with this project. I do have the new caliper, brand new here. What you see is that we're gonna have to reattach the motor. That's the e-brake motor to the back here. There's a seal that goes around, as you can tell. It's very hard to see. There you go. And that what allows the that protects the the connection between the motor and the caliper itself. We have the purging screw in the back. We also have a brand new bracket naturally, and we have the connection for the banjo bolt. So this is the only thing that I'm a little concerned about, because on the old one I sprayed some WD-40 there. Hopefully it's going to come out easily. Same thing for the motor. There are 2 screws on it. I need to disconnect it, and there's one in the back right here, and there's another one right on the other side. I'm hoping they come out easily. I think these, I'm not sure what they are. I think they're probably Torx or possibly Allen. I'll double check. Right, check now, but the connector is in the way. Yeah, that looks like Torx, probably T30. So I'm gonna work on this right now. I've also cleaned up this whole area and make sure that I remove as much corrosion as I can. I will probably treat it with my rust inhibitor, the Frametto, which I've used for the rust area. Try to actually treat as much as I can to prevent the rust from spreading any further. As you can tell, there's rust pretty much everywhere. Not surprising, the car is 2009. It will accumulate over time, but it's not a bad idea to neutralize it if you can. So I'm gonna continue working on this. Hopefully everything is gonna go well. Reattach the splash screen, the dust shield that goes there too. And 3 screws, also Torx, one here, one here, one here. Actually 4, so 4 of them. And you really need to put the screen first before you reattach everything naturally, because otherwise you're gonna have a problem. Then I'm gonna have to also clean up these holes. This is where the long bolts are going, the triple square that are attached from the back. These are the ones that caused all the trouble that we had. So I need to make sure that these holes are nice and clean. So yeah, that's basically it. So I'm gonna start working on this, and hopefully everything is gonna go fine. All right, so I have clamped my brake line with a little vice clamp, and which is sufficient here, so it's not leaking. That's great. This was a bit of a problem to take out. I had to really bang on it in order to loosen it, because it was basically welded because of rust to the caliper. So that did not come easy, as you can tell. I mean, I had to bang the head a little bit, so not a lot of damage, but certainly I think this is an aluminum coupling, because you can tell it really marked easily, so it's probably soft metal. I need to clean this up correctly. There's a washer here. You have 2 copper washers. One is on this end, the other one is on the other side. So on both sides, one on each side. You can see actually there's a bit of a thickness here, and the washer is just right there. So if you don't know that, it's, yeah, be cautious, because the other washer is actually on the caliper. It stayed there. It's pretty much welded. I'm gonna take it out. I will reman this one, just bring it back to a good condition, because I might be able to use it. As you can tell, the piston was quite extended because the pads were very much damaged, but other than that, it was actually moving nicely. So this is still full of fluid, so be cautious. And I got my new caliper here. I need to move the motor, the e-brake motor, onto this side, so it shouldn't take too long. Hopefully it's gonna go easily. Yeah, these are Torx, as I said earlier, so I got the bits for that. And this caliper, which was about $100, by the way, comes with everything. So you got the spring, the anti-nose spring, you got the new banjo bolt, you have 2 copper washers, and you have the 2 screws that hold the motor to the actual caliper itself. So it's a full system. I was really happy to see that, because frankly, I didn't know whether the washers were coming with the kit, but they do. So the old banjo bolt will probably just take a hike for now. I'll keep it aside, but it's there's no point really keeping it, and you should probably replace it, because rust accumulates in this area pretty often. So it's not a bad idea to replace everything. This caliper comes with everything. So I'm going to continue undressing this caliper, remove the motor, put it here, and then start mounting everything back after I treat the rust first. So I need to take care of this. As I mentioned last time, I've used this for rust neutralizing. This is a product that my dad is sending me from France. I've known this for many years. This has been around for decades, literally. It works really well. I've used it across the like on the car to deal with the rust. That's a different video, and it's been working really well. So I'm gonna just use it in some parts and treat what I can see here, so that the rust at least doesn't spread any further. It's kind of a lost battle because there's rust literally everywhere on this vehicle, but I do want to try to see. I don't want to, if I can treat some of it, I will do it now. Might as well. So the job continues. Stay put. All right, so I've treated all the areas that I wanted with my little Framedo thing. So you see it turns black, which is good because it really helps you see where you've put that stuff. And once you put it on, it's done. I mean, the rust really is not spreading any longer, which is exactly what you want. I would need to put a lot more all around the car, really. I just don't have the time to do it now, so I'm just gonna leave it like that for now. Now I'm about to, so I'm cleaning up these holes here, and these holes are where the new bolts are gonna go. So I got those from Canadian Tire, surprisingly. I was in a bit of a rush. They happened to have it in one of the stores in Ottawa. I will replace them because the original one is here, and this one actually was seized in the hole, but it should really go freely in the hole. There's no thread on that part here, and naturally the head goes on the other side, right? So it goes like this, and see, there's still dust that's coming out because the hole is not clean just yet. I have one of those set of brushes that I'm using, and I can show you what that looks like when I do it. You'll see how much crap actually comes out of it. That's pretty surprising. There was a lot of this. The lower one was the one, you can see smoke in the back. The lower one was the one that was the lower one was the one that was seized and that we had to drill through. So see how much dust there's still in there. There was likely, my technician told me that there was probably some thread locker that was put in there at some point, or some sort of a compound or whatever. But this should move freely in there, right? Which is somewhat the case right now. It's actually not too bad. I'm gonna push it from the other side, and yeah, that moves okay. It's not great. I'm gonna keep cleaning it. This, I believe, is it's cast. I don't believe it could be cast iron. It could be aluminum. I'm not too sure. But certainly whatever was in these two holes that actually caused it to cause the bolts to seize was a big part of the trouble that we had. So I got these new bolts now. I'm gonna use those, reassemble the bracket, put the rotor back on, obviously, reassemble the bracket, the splash screen, all the things that I said earlier. I'm gonna start working on this, and I still need to undress the motor, so I'm gonna do this now. Quick video of this cleaning up of the holes. So I got an extension here attached to my drill, simply because I want to stay right in the axis and I want to be able to clean it really nice. That's one. All right, well, that looks pretty good. I'm gonna just try to clear the hole. I don't have my compressor here. What's really surprising is that you can still see in there that there was, like, it's almost like we can see a thread of the bolts, especially in the lower one. It's more obvious. But really, this is not threaded, right? It should not be threaded. It should move freely, like I said, which is the case now. I think I'm in a pretty good spot right now. These screws in the bracket, so that part right here, the one that we had to take out in pieces, now it's looking good. It's nice and free. Might actually do a little bit more on the top hole here because it's not fully free, but it's free enough certainly to allow for the bolts to be attached, right? So that's perfect. And so I just want to share this moment of cleaning up the hole because it's pretty satisfying as far as I'm concerned. All right, so as expected, things are not going necessarily super well. I've got the it is a T30 Torx, right? This is what happened when it's so rusted that it doesn't even, doesn't unscrew. I did actually use WD-40 on this WD-40, sorry, on this one, and I basically stripped the head off completely on this one. The other one came out, so it is here. Luckily, as part of the kit, like I said, there are new screws. Now it's just a matter of actually removing the motor from the caliper. It is somewhat loose, but it's not completely loose, and there's still a lot of liquid in the caliper, so I don't exactly know how I'm gonna take that out. If I look at the new one, looks like I should be able to kind of twist it, spin it, and it should, in theory, come loose, but don't want to damage it either, because if I damage this, I'm screwed, basically. The screw is not holding anything here anymore, but it might actually prevent it from swiveling. And yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. So it's not necessarily looking super good. I'm not desperate just yet, but I'm gonna try to see if I can pry it off slightly here. Looking at the other one, like I said, there's nothing else really holding it, right? So the motor actually just goes straight in there, and you just have these two bolts on either side. There's nothing else. So it's not as if I was missing a screw or something like that. Right now it's just a matter of loosening the motor and trying to see if I can uncouple it from the caliper. And since everything is rusted in there, it's not easy. So let me see if I can switch my so I'm using a little rig here in order to hold my phone in place. So it's plastic, so you can see it's, oh, there we go. Okay, so if you actually insert a flat screwdriver right in this space here, you should be able to pry it out. Now, pry it off, sorry. This is where the liquid is going to start spilling. I'm going to try to keep it in an upright position and do the same on that side. There we go. That's looking pretty good, actually. There we are. Woo! Okay. Well, that makes me feel better, because I was getting a little concerned that I wouldn't be able to take it out. You can see the inside of the motor. It's just there's a ridged little axle here that goes straight into the middle right here, so similar to the other one. It's good to see that the seal on the outside here did protect the inside quite a bit. There was a little bit of rust that started building up here, but the other thing that I'm seeing is this. You might be able to see it here. Let me see if I can, there we go. See this? These are metal shavings that are basically reacting to the magnetic field of the motor, because that's not an electric motor. See this? All this. That's metal that's sticking to the body of the motor. So that means that at some point there was some metal shavings, possibly coming from the brakes. So the good thing is that I can clean this up nicely now, make sure that the surface is nice and clean, and reattach it to the other one, and we'll be in business. Since we have new screws, that shouldn't be an issue. So I thought I would provide an update on this particular section here, which could be a little tricky. All right, so continuing with the process, I have my 2 bolts just inserted here, ready. I got my bracket that I removed from the overall caliper, which is over there, redressed with the motor, so that's ready. And I've got my rotor here that I need to put on first before I put the bracket. Once this is on, the rotor no longer gets on there, so you have to put the rotor first. One thing that I've noticed is that, I forgot that we had to actually drill through this little set screw. This is only there basically to kind of hold the rotor in place. It's not necessary. I would have liked to keep it, but unfortunately I don't have my taps here, so I cannot re-tap the hole. So it's gonna be without it. Not a big deal, because ultimately the rotor is sandwiched between the wheel and the hub, right, with the 5 lug nuts here. So it's not a huge deal. I mean, there's no strength in that little screw here. It's just a positioning screw, so it's not a big deal. I removed the copper washer from the bender bolt, so this is ready to go, and I'll be able to. So now I'm going to put the rotor back on, and the bracket, which I'm going to try to tighten as much as I can. I've got a new bit, which is a triple square 14 mil for these big bolts here. There's not a lot of clearance, so I'm not sure what kind of torque I'll be able to torque this at, but I'll try to actually torque them as much as I can, and we'll continue the process. Alright, so things are moving along nicely. Since I don't have the set screw here, the rotor is going to sit a little loose for now, but this screw also makes sure that your holes are lined up, right? Because otherwise your lug nuts are not going to be able to get through the rotor and screw into the hub. So the screw is better. It's better to have it. It just makes your life easier, because right now the rotor is loose and it's not holding in position. Not ideal, obviously. I have reassembled the bracket around the rotor, so the rotor is prisoner. It cannot really go anywhere. Put the springs back on, like the little anti-noise little springs here, top and bottom. What I will do is also grease them. So you want to grease the area where the pad is going to slide on. So your pad is going to insert in here and get in between the little brackets, see at the bottom right there, and this area is going to slide back and forth, right? Very ever so slightly, but it's important that it's actually properly lubricated. So I have brackets that came with a caliper. I have these brackets that came with the pads. They're fundamentally the exact same, so they're you can use either the ones that come with the pads or the brackets. And I have a bigger problem here now, which is these little guys. They are actually hex. They're Allen. They're not triple square. So, which is a tool I don't have with me right now. So that kind of sucks. I was able to actually bring the top one as close as I could. The bottom one, however, is still sitting pretty far from the brackets, not fully screwed in. So I'm gonna have to wait a little bit. I did not notice that when I got those from Canadian Tire, but they are in fact hex. They're not triple square. There's also a bit of a red at the very end here. This is a thread locker, so that prevents the parts from loosening up. So as far as this project goes, I might actually have to leave it like that until I get the Allen keys. I can put the pads back on, which is going to take a few minutes, put the caliper back on, reconnect everything. I just don't want to reconnect everything just yet, because I might need the space to access the back here, and I might actually even hold off on putting the caliper back on, because right now I just cannot really finish the job. So I'm gonna go get my Allen keys. I don't have any here. I need to go back home and get my set and complete the job, which shouldn't really take too long. So I'm probably gonna leave it at that for now until I get the proper tools. So stay put for more.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
All right, so I ended up actually taking the rotor out again and the bracket out, simply because I wanted to retap that screw. Remember, that's the one that we had to drill through it because it was so corroded that the head actually snapped and stripped. So I had a set of die and tap here. So this is an M6 by 1.0. I just happened to have these little screws kicking around that I use for my license plate. So that did the job. And I now have a set screw here that's holding my rotor in place, which is exactly what I wanted. So taking the extra step here just to do it right. I don't like to take shortcuts. So I'm gonna put the Allen bolts back in now. And yeah, I'll reassemble the bracket. Again, put a bit of grease on the little noise cancellation springs right here, and then put the pads, reconnect the bender bolt, reconnect the line, reconnect everything, and I'm gonna need some assistance to purge the brakes after that, but I think it's looking pretty good, so I'll just keep going. Okay, so continuing to move forward, got the pads are in place. You can see the grease here. It's kind of a red in color. This is a silicone ceramic brake lubricant. One note about this connector, which goes to the motor, it's a little mangled on my end. Looks like it's been removed forcibly in the past. There's a little tab at the top there that is supposed to come down on the connector. It's gonna be really hard to show. Let me see if I can get a close up here. So it's not too close now, actually. So I got the connector right there. I'm gonna plug it on, and the problem I'm having is that you can see the little tab is in there, but it's not, the tab is not locking in. So it's right in this hole here. Can't really show you, but the tab is supposed to lock back down when there is it's hard to show when there is no light on it. You can actually see it a little bit better. Sorry, this is out of focus right now. Yeah, there you are. So, but yeah, the little tab is in there. You can see it right there. See, it's still in the up position. It should be coming down on the little tooth that's in the connector. I'm not sure why this is happening, but looks like it's just not gonna go. So I'm gonna work with that. Unfortunately, I might put a bit of electric tape and see what gives. But right now, yeah, see, it's still in the up position. Try to force it down with a screwdriver. It's not working either. So I just wanted to point that out as a little detail that you might run into in case you do the rear brakes. And these connectors are a pain in the butt to remove, frankly. So it's not surprising they got mangled because people lose their patience on these things. So anywho, I thought I would point that out. All right, good news. The tab is in the down position, as you can tell. It's now locked on the little tooth that's in there, which is good news. I just had to push it a little harder in order to engage the connector all the way in, and it ultimately clicked, right? So I thought I would, again, point that out. It's important for this connector to stay in place. It is pretty mangled right now, as I said. I wish I had some electrical tape. I would have put a few rounds around it, and you might want to do this on your end, depending on the shape of it. But at least this is done. So I'm gonna secure the 2 bolts in the back here. Remove this, put the copper washers, one at the bottom, one at the top, reconnect the bench bolt, purge the line, remove it from service mode, and we should be done with this project. Okay, so this is the final step. The motor is back into position. I'm not filming this because the scanner might be different than mine, the one you'll be using. So I'm just gonna focus on the purging phase. So there is a little nut here, that's the purging nut. You want to loosen this and then ask somebody to pump the brake pedal a few times slowly. So go ahead, press the pedal, and we should see some liquid coming out. Yeah, keep going. Okay, do it again. Okay, again. Okay, keep pumping. Yeah, so there's no liquid coming out here. Okay, so I might need to start the motor actually. Give me 1 moment. Alright, so let's try that again. The engine is running now. Go ahead, press the brakes. So see, there's a little bit of liquid coming out. Okay, do it again. Yeah, so that's good. That means that we don't have air in the system anymore, so we're good now. Just gonna take my key out. Okay, press the brakes again. Okay, do it again. Okay, so what's going on here is that there's a small leak. Yeah, right there. You can see it's leaking from the bolt here. Okay, try again. Yeah, it's coming right from the bottom there. So, okay, stop for now. Don't stop the engine. Okay, try again. The copper washers are supposed to be tight because they crush and they make the seal. Well, it's pretty tight as it is right now, so okay, try again. Okay, seems to be good now. Okay, again. You're pressing the brakes? Yeah, pump the brakes again. A little harder even. Okay, looks good now, it's not leaking anymore. That's what you want. So, job is done. Hope this was helpful. Let me know if you have any comments or recommendations. Thanks.